aggressively investigate the timeline surrounding Caylee Anthony's disappearance. But what about the geography of this case? Many locations in the Orlando area could hold important clues about Caylee's disappearance. Without a doubt, sheriff's investigators are looking at maps much like the one you are about to see. Let's bring in the legal panel. Joining us live, Attorney Gloria Allred and criminal defense attorneys Michael Cardoza and Ted Williams. I'm going to go to the screenwriter at the outset and show the viewers the map of the area and point out a few significant parts of this investigation. First of all, if we can put the screenwriter up on the screen, is that the area right here that I'm circling in blue, that's where Casey and Caylee lived with the grandparents up until at least June 16th, the last day the grandfather saw Caylee. The place that she was supposedly staying with Clint, who we just heard from, and Tony, her boyfriend, is circled at the top of the screenwriter. And then, of course, on June 30th, the area I'm circling now, June 30th is when her car was towed, apparently abandoned. The Sawgrass Apartments I'm circling now is where Zenaida Gonzalez supposedly lived, but has been determined not to have lived there. And finally, the area that they were searching today is this area down below the house, which is the area that I'm putting in red, which is the airport. I guess we can't see it on the screen there, but let me just draw an arrow. You can see it. It's down in that direction is where the airport is. All right. Having said that, Ted, looking at this, what do you think?
Well, everything is certainly in close proximity. We know that she met Tony and Clint, and she initially was at their apartment on May 24th. The car is found at this check cashing place here. Now, I personally went to the Sawgrass Apartments there where Zenaida Gonzalez was and was able to see that area. And then the Anthony house, I was out in front of the Anthony house, and the airport also. All of these areas, I can tell you, are in close proximity, and the law enforcement is looking at each and every one of these areas.
Michael, looking at this map, I mean, it sort of gives you a frame of reference. We know the police are looking at it, but at least it gives you a sort of a greater idea of what the police, the spots they're looking at.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, as Ted said, everything seems to be close together. I'm most interested in that red arrow where that's pointing to the airport, because I know they've had some information come out about cell phone towers and about her being down that way, Casey being down that way at some time. So I'm more interested in that red arrow than the others. Everything is close, but I think the mystery is going to be solved somewhere around that airport.
All right, Gloria, let me give you a few more facts. The 15th is Father's Day. The 16th is the last day the grandfather sees the child. The 17th, the evening of the 17th, is supposedly when they have the ping off the towers in the area of the airport, which is the area that the arrow was pointing to on the screenwriter. And then there's some confusion whether it was earlier in the day on the 17th she borrowed a shovel, or if it was the next day on the 18th. But the area that I'm pointing to right now is the area where they were looking today in the airport ping. She's got some explaining to do, doesn't she?
She does, or as they say in certain parts of the country, Greta, she has some splaining to do. But I think what's interesting is both the proximity of the area that is being searched, the number of cell phone pings from that area, who she was calling, whether in fact she was increasing her calls, for example, to her parents, as apparently she was during that period of time. Was she feeling that she was in some sort of crisis or emergency situation? Why was she trying to get in touch with them? Why was she trying to get the shovel? And where is Caylee? I think they're closing in, and this map is a big help, as well as the cell phone pings to from the cell phone towers.
All right, so the ping is Tuesday. The ping is Tuesday, the 17th, and then 3 nights later, the 20th, she's at a club, apparently having fun. Yeah, Michael.
You know what strikes me? Jose Baez, her attorney, Casey's attorney, should now be talking, and the family should be too, very strongly to Casey, because now's the time. If this was accidental, she better come forward now and explain what happened, because no one will believe her later. And you bet, whether they find a body or they don't, it's my opinion they're going to prosecute her for a homicide. So if it happened accidentally, come forward.
Yes, but we still have to get the forensic back, which is what the prosecution's waiting for if they don't have. Panel, stand by. Coming up, Anthony's lawyer files a motion making demands. Anthony's lawyer, Jose Baez, demands videotapes of the cadaver dogs that were sniffing in the grandparents' backyard. Plus, detailed information about the cadaver dogs used to search for missing Caylee. Now, the dogs reportedly hit on areas in the backyard of Caylee's grandparents, but Cindy Anthony, the grandmother, has an explanation of why the dogs may have picked up the scent of decomposition.
The first dog was here for a day.
Well, about what day was that, so I have the timeline right?
You know, I don't know if it was Thursday or Friday.
I don't know if it's the 18th or 19th. I'm not really sure.
So what was the day that you made the phone call? The 15th was what day of the week?
Tuesday.
Okay, so Tuesday and then maybe Thursday.
Thursday or Friday. And I know they had taken the house completely off.
This is where the house is normally?
Yes, it's
okay.
not exactly where we have it because they put it back. We haven't done anything to fix anything.
All right, now this can't be lifted alone. I mean,
no.
It's pretty, I mean, I can't lift that.
You can't lift it. And they took all the block off, sniffing underneath the block. But I was told that the dog was inconsistent on a hit here. And
here being right here at the house?
And, yes. And inconsistent where her sandbox was.
Which is where?
Where it's at now, roughly.
This, is this a sandbox?
It's a sandbox.
It has a cover on it. Okay.
Yes.
So there was an inconsistent alert here.
Yes. An inconsistent alert over in the corner of the house.
Meaning over behind, near the pool?
Yes.
Now, so they never had, as you understand it, an alert. They rather had an inconsistent one.
They had an inconsistent alert, so that's why they explained to us why they brought the second cadaver dog in. Second cadaver dog did not alert in the same spots that they did.
Did not?
Did not.
Did not. All right.
And there was nothing that they found that had any, you know, that they came up with any evidence. Now, I did ask what could alert a dog and what decomposition could possibly be. Human urine, human blood, human hair, anything like that.
Sweat.
Well, sweat, those kind of things. Well, George sweat all day. It took him all day to put the foundation because our home slopes a little bit. So, I mean, he poured sweat and blood all over those rocks that day doing the foundation.
A date when? About when?
Oh, that was put last year.
Okay.
But that kind of stuff they said could be there for days or years or whatever.
So where was the second alert? Back here?
Well, I don't know what order it was, but see...
I mean, the other, there was an alert back here.
Well, there was suspicion because we had moved a plant. George took them around and told them, they asked if we had moved any plants or done any digging in the backyard. And he said yes. As a matter of fact, within a couple weeks prior, we had moved a huge hibiscus plant that we had here, and we placed it over there. And the reason for that is because, and we haven't moved this back yet, is because all last year we had this deck box here. Well, Caylee can now climb it, and we didn't want her climbing where she could get to the pool, so I said, let's put it against the house. So we moved this plant that had been here for years.
In here?
Yes. And he took the plant out and he moved it over to the corner. And we had the deck box against the wall, so there would be nothing here for Caylee to climb up on to get it to the pool. So that's why we had moved the plant. They did not find anything here.
Okay, but
they did check just because there was evidence that looked like there was ground that was disturbed.
All right, but there was even no inconsistent alert here, as far as you know.
So.
The Orange County Sheriff's Department defends the abilities of their cadaver dogs. The cadaver dogs had an alert in the backyard and the trunk of her car?
That's correct.
What do you make of that? Are the alert your alert dogs any good, or they ever make mistakes?
No, we stand behind the information. We stand behind the training of our canine team, the cadaver dogs. We also had additional team members respond from an adjoining county. So we also have redundancy in our searches and what we do. One of the things that's very important is to make sure that we explore all avenues that are available to us, and as well as exclude possibilities. But any time we receive information, evidentiary evidence, something that is of value to us, we need to make sure that we document that information.
In terms of information available to you, I take you're doing a soil analysis between the backyard and her trunk and the shovel.
Several pieces of evidence have been sent out. I don't know all of it that's been sent out, but if you remember on the bond hearing, they mentioned hair and they did mention some dirt. Now, as far as what the lab is doing, unfortunately, myself not being a tech, I wouldn't know exactly what they're doing, but we do have some evidence that we have sent out.